Okay. Hey. I think I need to. Whew. Hello, everyone. Hello. We'll give it a couple minutes for some more people to be able to come in, but I'm so I'm so happy to be back with you. Hi, Gina. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to be back with you. I'm so happy to have electricity. We have electricity, but no um, drama from the utilities this week. So that's always good news. And I am grateful that this past week is over. I had many events in the last 6 days, and I'm like, wow. I do want to, and I will say this again, and I will also make a post on both Instagram and Facebook. If you wanted to have a reading before the year is over, you can still purchase one for 10% off. So it's normally, and now and my phone is being used for Instagram, and I don't math in my head, so hang on a second. It's normally $125, and at 10% off, that would be minus $12.50. So it would be $112.50. This is why I don't math in my head, because it really gets pathetic. I mean, my inability to math is I mean, I'm a whiz on a calculator, but not in my head. So if you wanted to purchase a session, you could still do so. For 10% off, it would be $112.50 instead of $125, and you don't have to schedule right now, but if you want to purchase at the reduced price, the year-end price, you can certainly to do that. I do want to start with the animal cards. And I do also want to hit into some things, because we are in, we're in the Gemini new moon, but we're coming next week, at the end of this week, into the full moon. It's going to reach into Capricorn. And so I just wanted to touch base about some of this, because when you have Gemini, you have you have this more high energy, and so we have talked before about this is a great time to be looking at, and of course we're coming to the end of the year, so this is a time to really be looking at what is it that I haven't done this past year of 2022. And the thing that I want to really encourage you is not to look at what you haven't done, but to give yourself those pats on the back for the things that you have done, and to say, okay, well, what do I want to carry forward? Either experiences, relationships, habits. What do I want to carry forward to either stay with, to keep growing, or to enhance, to expand into the new year? And what things can be left in the past? Because we're coming into this full moon, right? This is going to be the full moon in Gemini, in Capricorn. And Capricorns, I'm Capricorn, so Capricorns get stuff done. Like Capricorns, what is it that needs to happen? Capricorns are in there moving and shaking about stuff. And so the thing with Capricorns is, and as we come into the time of Capricorn, it's really this idea of what do I want to accomplish, and to really think about, when you want something done, one of the good people to ask, to help roll up sleeves and get in there is going to be Capricorns. And so when you're in that, and we're being bathed in that full moon energy, this is a great time to be able to say, what do I want to get done? What productivity, what things do I want to bring forward into the new year? What things do I want to leave in the current year? What habits do I want to continue to grow and to move forward? And what habits do I want to try to leave behind? It gives us a lot. This is a time of contemplation, even though it feels like it's not, right? We've got so much to do with getting the year end and all of the things with the holiday shopping and hustle and bustle and go here and go there and see relatives and do all the things. It's also this time of contemplation. And for me personally, that week between Christmas and New Year's has always been this time where I just put the brakes on everything. I don't work that week. That's my one of my vacation times, is I'm just done, and I don't it's a time for me to fill my cup and to really sit in that place of enjoying family and friends, but at the same time being in that place where I can say, what do I want how do I want to think about this year? What do I want to bring forward? What do I want to carry forward? What do I want to continue carrying to either stay with me or to continue to develop? And what things can I leave in the current year? And so it's just things to think about. There's no right or wrong answer, but this is a great time because Gemini is very fun and quick, and Gemini really has more details with it as well. Gemini allows us to look at a lot of different things at once, and Capricorn allows us to boil it down to be able to say, okay, here's all these things. How do I really feel? What do I really want to take with? And so we're in that final coming down, right? So we know, coming up rather, because we know the energy rises to the full moon, and we get to that time of the full moon where we are, at the top of the Ferris wheel circle, right? And we're looking around because we've got this great perspective, this great view. So from the forward, we're looking at where do we want to go in the new year with Capricorn, and the backwards, and even just into the, the remainder of December. How do we want to finish this year? And then as we look backwards, we're looking through, again, what things do we want to leave behind? So it's not about resolutions. It's not about, making commitments of I'm gonna, run every day, or I'm gonna lose weight, or whatever. It's not about those things, but it is about the intentions. And for me, it's a lot about the vibe that I want to bring into the new year. What kind of a vibe? What kind of energy? What kind of an intention do I want to bring forward? And for me, one of the things that I'm really working through with myself is continuing to develop my heart and greeting people with love. I feel like as politically active as I am, that there have been places where I don't like the word need, I don't like the word should, but I am choosing to work more on opening my heart with love, and receiving people with love. And it isn't about people who are different, but there's this part of me that gets so frustrated by the closed-mindedness of others in certain aspects, and that's something for me to work on. And so this is one of the things that I've been, it's coming up for me as I sit through meditation and asking the universe, what do I need to know? It's one of the best questions we can ask on any day, is what do I need to know for my highest and best good to move myself forward on my path? Every single day, what do I need to know for my highest and best good to help me move forward on my path? What do I need to know to help others move forward on their path? How can I best serve Spirit? How can I best serve God and the people around me to help them move forward on their path? Because all of those things helps me to move forward on mine as well. So we're going to pull an animal spirit card because I really felt like we needed to get a little animal spirit in here. And so the card I pulled is Panda. And now I need my glasses. I think I need to get my eyes checked as one of my New Year's things. Create a sacred space for yourself in your home and or place of work. And this is kind of what we're talking about, is setting aside this time to create, an opportunity for your heart to open, for your mind to open, where we can get quiet and we can just listen and feel into what's going on. So it isn't, it doesn't have to be a big space. It doesn't have to be a big space. I do have in my home the place where we do readings. That's actually not where I sit for meditation personally. I have a corner in my own bedroom, because our bedroom is kind of sacred space. And so I have a corner in my bedroom that is a rocking chair that is antique. That was, we bought an antique store in Burbank when I was pregnant with Eli, who's about to be 25. So it is a beautiful old rocking chair, and it just brings me a lot of peace and comfort to sit in it. And so when I do my personal meditations, that's where I go. And so it's just a little corner. It doesn't have to be a big space, but to create a space is not just about physical space, but it's also about space in our day, creating a space on the calendar, creating that moment to shut everything off and to give that full attention to your heart, to your inner guidance, your inner wisdom, to connect with your higher powers. So it's not just about creating physical space, but it's about creating space in your day to create space in yourself. So I'm going to grab into the animal book, and this is the same Stephen Farmer. It's the same author of both the cards and the book. But I'm interested to see what else he has to say. For some reason, it's calling me to find out more what the panda says. It says, your thinking is much too polarized into black and white, right and wrong, so try to broaden your perspective. You can do anything you want once you set your mind to it, especially if the desire originates in your heart. But that means we have to get in there, right? We have to get in there with the heart, and we have to be able to connect ourselves, allow ourselves to connect in there, right? Take yourself somewhere up high where you can view the world below and meditate from this vantage point, observing how you feel as you do. Now, maybe you can do that physically, get on the roof or go drive up a hill. I live in Florida. There's not too many high hills. I suppose you could go up on top of a parking garage, but again, it's about creating space around you. So whether that's a physical space or it's just some mental space, to create some space and move clutter, move people, move the air around you so that you have just some space where you can take up space. As people, especially if you live in a more crowded space, or you have a full house, or you work in a crowded office or a bigger city, sometimes we feel like we have to be, hold everything tight in to protect our energy, maybe to protect our tote bag so we don't get mugged or anything like that. Just to allow ourselves the opportunity to take up some space, that's a good thing, that we can ask for space, we can make space, we can have space. And so I think I feel like this is one of the things that's really coming through right now as we are moving. So today's the 5th, and the full moon is going to be on the 8th. So we're really coming into this time, and to make sure that you are giving yourself some space. Physical, mental, emotional, just give yourself some space to have some time for yourself, whether it's meditation or journaling or automatic writing, or just being in nature and enjoying something that makes you happy. One of the best ways that we can do like a palate cleanser for the energy is just to do things that make us happy. When my husband and we took a cruise a couple of weeks back, it was just a couple days into the Bahama, thing. It was nothing fancy, but there was an ice skating show on the cruise ship, and I can't ice skate. I'm a Florida girl. I've done it, several times. I'm really not very good at it. And to add how difficult it must be to ice skate and ice dance and do jumps and spins and things on a boat was just really remarkable to me. And especially the ice skating rink, as you might imagine, on a cruise ship wasn't very big. But what was so marvelous to me, more than the ice skating show, was a little boy who was standing. We were facing the stage, the rink, and at the corners they had places where the performers could kind of hop off the ice and wait for their next time to get back on the ice for whatever they were going to do. And there was a little boy who was standing just, right here at this corner, and he had his little baseball hat on and a little collared shirt, like a polo shirt, and his khaki pants, and he had his hands plunged right down into his pants, into his pockets, and he was just pie-eyed watching these ice skaters. And he was sitting behind us, and I watched him creeping closer and closer and coming down to the edge of the ice rink. And I honestly had more fun watching this little boy than I had watching the ice skaters, because he was just so reminiscent to me of my son, and he was so adorable, just fixated on the ice skating and watching, and he just stood there. He didn't even move, and the ice skaters would come right up to him, and they would interact with him and give him a high five and shake his hand while they were waiting for their next cue. And he just, and it brought so much joy to my heart to watch this little boy, that when we left the arena, I had gone into the arena very protected of my energy, because there was a whole lot of drunk people around us, and when we left, I was just so filled with love and joy, because I was allowing my memories of when my son would act exactly this way when he was about 6 or 7 years old, to fill my heart, and it just was such a cleanse and such a reset. So it doesn't have to be anything big. You don't necessarily have to go to the mountains. I love being in nature, of course, if it's possible to do so, but sometimes it's enough to just allow ourselves to sink into the juiciness of a memory or an event that happened or something that just fills you completely with joy, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's baking, maybe it's reading, maybe it's just taking a walk in the silence. Whatever it is that is the thing that fills you with joy. It doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or far. So I just wanted to share that because I just felt this whole energy reset after I just spent, and it wasn't the whole show, it was maybe, 10 minutes of watching this sweet little boy. So just places where we can allow ourselves to open our heart and open our energy to be able to connect with love, because that's the higher power, when we can connect with love. Now, here's the other thing that I really feel is coming through for our message for this week is about patience, tolerance, and giving ourselves a break, right? Because we come to this time of the year, this last, couple weeks of the year, and we can get so overwhelmed with, I got to get this done, I got to get it done, I got to get it done, and we make ourselves crazy. And so this is a great opportunity for us to be like, I am okay. You are okay. We're okay. And we're going to just get stuff done. And it's okay. We don't have to sink into the crazy. And so if you are hitting the shopping malls or you are hitting, something, where there's going to be crowds of people, put your energy bubble around you, grab some crystals, whatever works for you to, protect yourself energetically. Buddy. No. Hey, drop it. Buddy, excuse me. Buddy, sorry. Don't eat that. Sorry. My dog, sorry about that. My dog, I have the recycling bag of paper right here, and my dog loves to eat paper, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't like him to eat paper that's like carbon copy stuff, that is the, when you write on it and it goes through to the other side, because there's like stuff in the paper. So he's like, hey, I'm going to eat that. And when I said to him no, he went, and just kind of put it out on the floor. But he's this big 85-pound dog, and he's like, okay, fine, Mom. So sorry about that. Okay, so just to give yourself a break. So if you're going out into the malls or the shopping centers or whatever you're doing, or you're going to be around a lot of family, stuff that might be triggering for you, just make sure that you maybe have some crystals on you, you take some breaths, that you are preparing yourself emotionally and energetically before you go into those situations, right? And to make those things much easier for yourself, and to give yourself a break. If it's time for you to go, then go. And if you're not physically able to leave, like maybe your whole family is still there, or you stayed, rode with somebody else, something like that, then take a walk around the block, or, just take a break in a bedroom, or something where you can just give yourself a break, right? Because we know that this time of year can be very energetically overwhelming to people. And so it's really important that we're doing things that are allowing ourselves to breathe. Okay, because the holidays should be enjoyable, and it's not always that way for people, whether there's been loss or illness or aggravation or whatever. This is a time to really encourage you to create the holiday environment that works for you, right? And if it's not what works for everybody else, then that's okay too. It is all right to say, we'll come and be part of the gathering for X period of time, but at some point we're going to have to leave, right? Putting boundaries in place during the holidays is essential so that we are not draining ourselves in service of others, right? And it's so important that we are protecting our energy, protecting our health, because we know when our energy can get drained that we can, have issues with health. And so just making sure that whatever it is that you need for you, that if somebody else is trying to make you feel bad about it as we're making plans for different holiday events, you know that at least one person in your world has said, you do what's right for you, and know that you are supported and loved. Because I know how much guilt a family can put on a person, and I'm just saying that it's so important if we're going to be around a whole bunch of people for the holidays, especially a lot of us who are empathic. It becomes really important that we are taking steps to prepare ourselves to be energetically safe, sanitary, and put a stopper in the bottom of the tub so that our energy is not completely leaking out all over everything. So whatever those things are that need to work, that work for you, that give yourself permission to put them into place and to speak with the people, if you can, that you'll be traveling with, maybe your kids or your partner, if you're driving or flying. You say, hey, look, these are some things that I need to have that are going to help make this more enjoyable or more smooth sailing for me. Okay, right? That whole being prepared is no joke, especially when it comes to traveling and being around family at the holidays. So you do you, and whatever that is going to mean for you to be healthy and energetically happy and peaceful and be able to enjoy the holiday season however you and your loved ones do that. Okay? All right. So I know that we're going to have a few more weeks where we'll meet, but we have the full moon coming up in just a few days on the 8th, and then we're going to feel that energy come down as we get into, because the new moon, the next one is going to be, I think, right before Christmas on 23rd. So it's important that we are taking those steps to make sure we're protecting our energy. So we'll grab some some cards for the collective, and so the first one that I have is flexible, which it's really what we're talking about, is about being flexible and asking for others around you to be flexible for you as well. So part of being flexible is knowing what you need. If we know where we're trying to go, it's like the analogy of the GPS, which I know we use a lot. If I know I'm here and I'm going to ask the GPS to take me there, and the GPS shows me the route, now the GPS also shows me alternate things. Maybe it's a few minutes faster, a few minutes slower. Maybe it has tolls, maybe it doesn't, but I now have the ability to make that decision for myself. And so what I love about flexibility is it starts with knowing what we want and where we're trying to go, because then we have the ability to say, okay, is this in alignment? Is it not in alignment? Will it take me on a detour? How far will the detour be? Is this worth, how do I want to assess the situation? And so allowing ourselves flexibility is so much easier when we've done the preparation work that we just talked about. Right? So preparing yourself for the holidays, preparing yourself for what you need so that you can pack your kit bag, pack your supplies for what you need, so that then when something unexpected comes up, because, oh, Aunt Susie's coming into town, or, oh, we're going to go over here instead of over there, that you have what you need to be able to be flexible, right? My husband, always talks about how I overpack, and I'm like, okay, I get it, because he packs, he travels so much, he's got it down to a science. He just packs this little suitcase, but he also knows his trip is relatively short and he'll be right back. For me, when I travel with him, it's usually a little bit longer, and so I know I'm going to pack things that are going to make my life easier wherever we may end up. So having that kind of preparation is essential to bringing peace and energetic calm and protection, so that you know that you have what you need. So when something else comes up, you can be flexible, right? You can lean into that and say, all right, I got this. I can be flexible with that because I know I have what I need around me, and I know where my end goal is, right? So when we know we have what we need and we know where we're going, it's easier to be flexible about the roads that we take, the paths we take to get there, right? Okay, so let's pull another one. We'll do a couple more. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. All right, so we have happy, happy. Happy, happy. And what I love about this is, so with happy, happy, again, it comes in about being being true to self. Get out of there. About being true to yourself. Sorry, the dog's back. So this is so much about, again, setting up what you need, because here's the picture, right? She's sitting on the egg. She's got all her stuff. She's totally in her right space, and she is, set up for her success, right? So we've got, she's got the light, the rainbows, and she's comfortable, she's smiling. So we have all of these things around us. Again, we've created this environment for success. We're not just sitting around waiting for joy to come. This is the joyous time of the year, right? But it's not always that way for everybody. But with Happy, we're reminded that we can create happiness. Now, can we, make every ill of our life or frustration or whatever go away? Not usually, but we can choose how we respond to things, and we can prepare and set ourselves up for greater success. We can, exactly what we just finished talking about, of bringing in the things that we know are going to protect us, that are going to make things a little smoother for us, so we can allow ourselves to be present in the moment. Happy is so much about being present in the moment, allowing yourself to say, okay, here, what's going on around me? Who am I with? Can I give my full attention to that person? Can I hold space for that person? Can I really engage and be in that moment? This is also a huge part about Happy, is allowing ourselves to be in the moment and to revel in the moment, revel in being with loved ones and friends and family and celebration. But all of that becomes much more possible when we have prepared in advance, which allows us to be more flexible, so we can stay in the place of happy when things go sideways. So reminding yourself that it is a choice. I love to say happiness is a choice, but I also put an asterisk on it, because I know that there are lots of extenuating circumstances that are out of our control, right? And so our job is to be prepared as much as we can, so that when things do go sideways, we can be better equipped to stay to be present in the moment, right? This is not to say that things aren't going to happen, because unfortunately they are, but to allow ourselves to be prepared so we can be more present in the moment, where we can show up for ourselves, we can show up for each other, and have a more joy-filled holiday experience, because we have done our preparations in advance to say, okay, what do I need? Do I have my essential oils? Do I have my favorite crystal? What do I, do I have my best, shirt that makes me feel, comfortable and that I look good? Or, are my shoes too tight? Or, so there's so much about our physical, what goes on around us, that is part of energetic preparation. When I'm going to go and meet with people that I maybe don't feel so comfortable with, I want to make sure I'm wearing an outfit that I do feel comfortable in, that maybe so that's the last thing I got to worry about. Like right now, you can see me, fussing with my, my shirt with my bra sticking out, which I don't really care, but that's would be something that would really irk me if I was with people that I felt maybe more self-conscious with. So having that bit of preparation for what is it that you need to feel grounded and comfortable and confident in, whatever that situation is of where you're going with the family for the holidays, is going to allow you to stay in that place of happy, and to be in the place of joyfulness, of being able to share this time with people who mean more to, people who mean much to us. Okay? All right, we're going to do one more collective card, and then we'll do some individual readings. Okay? All right. Okay, so this is the Thinker card. And so we've seen this before. This is the Thinker card. And so this is reminding us to take stock of what's going on around us, especially as we are preparing for the holidays, but also as we're preparing for the end of the year. And so this ties in with that time of sitting and creating that space for us, so that we can have a few minutes to clear our heads and know what it is we need and where do we want to go as we're going forward through the end of this year and carrying into the new year. But it's also about really taking that time for self in preparation for the holidays, to have that time for preparation again with, what do I need? Where are we going? Are we going with this group of people or that group of people? What do I need? And not to ever feel like, I carry a large tote bag pretty much everywhere I go, because that's the way I know I have. Like, I've got the phone charger, I've got essential oils, I've got, some pain meds, or like some, deep blue. I've got hand sanitizer. I've got, some snacks, so whatever it is. And part of that, I think, we learn these things. If you've had young children, you kind of learn that habit. But at the same time, it doesn't change, because that's part of self-care. It's part of our own self-preservation and taking care of ourselves, especially when we know we're going to be out in a crowded world around the holiday times. Lots of different emotions, right? We have joy, we have stress and frustration, and all kinds of stuff that's going on at this time of the year that is all heightened and elevated. Just make sure your tote bag is not too heavy, or maybe it needs to be a backpack so you're not creating, shoulder, neck, back issues for yourself, right? You want to make sure we keep it healthy. All right, so if you can't carry your tote bag, it's too much stuff in it, okay? So we need to get travel sizes of things. I have with my essential oils, they're very tiny little bottles, so I don't have to carry the big size things. So maybe you need to look at travel sizes or things that you can put, small down so that the things that you need to feel comfortable and safe are manageable for you to carry with you. Maybe there's things you can leave in the car so you don't have to physically carry them, but they're not far if you needed them. So different ways to think about things, about how we prepare ourselves and our energy as we're going into the holidays. And you'll notice we're not having this conversation on the 18th or the 19th. This is stuff that we want to think about now. Where are we going? What are we doing? Who are we going to see? What house are we going to be in? Or what hotel? Or who's coming to your house? These are things we want to think about ahead of time. We want to think about these things before we get into the craziness of the holidays, because if we can prepare ourselves ahead of time, then we can skip the crazy part and just have and by crazy, I'm not talking mental illness, I'm talking hectic, I'm talking frantic. Okay, and so we can skip all of that high energy frustration and overwhelm, hopefully, and we can stay in the place of peace and joy, in the happy, where we can stay present in the moment and enjoy the connection that we have with people, especially after the last couple of years where our holiday celebrations may have been more stayed or may have been smaller, more reserved because of the COVID pandemic, to allow ourselves to really enjoy being back together, right? To be back together. So, all right. So we're going to do some cards for you. And so one of the things that we've talked about before, about when spammers come on and they say, message me for your personal, private, whatever reading, is when I ask you to put in the comments, would you like a card? Because I'm asking permission. I'm asking energetic permission to come into your space. So I meet people all the time and they're like, oh, are you reading me? And I'm like, no, I'm not reading you. I just met you and you haven't given me permission. And also we're being, social or what have you. So I'm not, I'm not... for me, I feel like it's mental trespassing or energetic trespassing. So I'm not reading people when I first meet them. And so it's really important when somebody says, message me for, your special whatever, they're not asking your permission. And so I feel like it's really important that we are asking that, for me as a professional, for me to say, if you would like me to come into your energy and I'm allowed to come into your energy, then this is the time that you're going to say, I would like a card, okay? And this way I know that I have your permission and I'm not coming to you, I'm not barging in on your energy. I'm asking for this door to be open, for a path to be made. So I hope that makes sense. So, okay, so we have, and hi. Oh, Dumo, we haven't seen you in so long, my friend. Okay, so we will, okay. So we have Ellen first on our Facebook group. So we're going to go for Ellen. Let's see. Just kind of feel into Ellen's energy. And we have Chop Wood. Ellen, Chop Wood card is number 42. So 4 and 2 is 6. And so this is a reminder for you to really make sure you're doing your work, doing the things that are important for you, the things that you are called to do. It's a stay in your lane card, really. It's not that you are looking at don't worry, Chris. I will catch Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. It's not that you are ignoring what's going on around you, Ellen, but it is about staying in your lane and reminding yourself that it's not your job to fix everybody and that you're not responsible for fixing other people. We pray for them. We encourage them. We try to help if we can, but we're not responsible for fixing the world. We're responsible for fixing our part. I love the quote that says, you're not required to complete the task, but nor are you free to ignore it. So Chopwood reminds us to do the part that we were that we were called to do. You know, Bruce Warren is a pastor, and he in one of the mega churches in California, and he wrote a book called The Dream Giver. And one of the things he talks about in some of the lectures he's given around this book is to do the work that we are given. And so when we are in our lane, we are doing the work that has been divinely given to us, either by our spiritual path, our the purpose of our soul's purpose of why we've come here, or whatever it is that has us in the most alignment. When we do the work that we have been given, and when we wander off, we get really kind of confused, and we start to do the work that others have been given. So Ellen, this is a reminder for you to stay in your lane. And it's not that we're not trying to love and support the people who may be around us dealing with different issues, but this is a reminder for you to do the work that you have been given, the things that are going to help you to move forward on your path. Okay? And also just, there's something else about this, and not feeling guilty about it, because there's some part about that of like feeling like beating yourself up or something for not jumping in and dropping what you're doing to help other people, and it's not selfish. There's some feeling of like, oh, I feel like if I'm selfish if I'm not dropping what I'm doing to help other people, and that's not selfish. Selfish is the part that should be dropped, to allow you to stay the path and stay the course for you. And I feel like that's something that's important, is for you to know that it is safe for you, and you are supported energetically, spiritually supported to continue on your path. You don't have to be the person that drops everything for everybody else. So I hope that resonates. All right, so we're going to we'll go back to Aaron, because I jumped Aaron, and my apologies for that, who is not a naughty guy. I know personally, not a naughty guy. All right, let's see what's going on for Aaron. Okay, so clean it up. Aaron, this is card 21. Clean it up. So this is anything that's like an unfinished project, or things that maybe have been, okay. Someday I'm going to do this, that, or the other thing. This is a reminder for you to tie up the loose ends, to finish up any unfinished projects. And this is also about really taking a look at habits, like maybe bad habits, if you need to stop biting your nails, or some things that that cause self-destruction. Is what I'm hearing in my head. It's things that cause us to berate ourselves and beat ourselves up. So this does kind of align in with what we were just talking about with Ellen, is when we do things that we feel are right for us, that then we make ourselves feel bad about. So if you are having these issues where there's stuff that you're doing that then you second guess yourself, or the things that are not bringing you joy, and the things that are not making you feel confident and powerful, things that give the opposite of that are the things that should be looked at as well. So if there's bad habits that you are maybe nursing that need to be addressed, or self-depreciating scenarios that we need to look at, how can these be more energetically fruitful, and things that become more positive experiences, rather than immersing ourselves in things that are going to suck our energy out or make us feel less than. So this is a time not just to clean up bad habits that are physical, that are in the physical, but also energetic things that may need to be cleaned up or addressed for you as well. Okay, so hopefully that is helpful for my friend. All right, so Perry Brooke. Well, hello. Welcome, Perry Brooke. You are pursuing a 2-year master's degree, but now you've been thinking of quitting. Aw. Well, let's see. Now, I can't tell you what to do, and, that's a decision for you to make, but let's see if we can shed some light on it, Perry. Okay. So for Perry, this card comes in upside down. So this is the card, Perry, that is deep knowing, and it comes in upside down. So this is a real reminder for you to take another look at that why, that deep why of why did you choose to start this program? What were you envisioning? Not how it was going to be, because no path, looks like what we thought it was going to look like, but what is the outcome? Where is that going to bring you? What is that deep why that you are pursuing this goal, and what difference are you planning to make in the world when you have reached this goal of having your master's degree? And that's exciting. But I feel like it's easy to get lost of this is overwhelming, this is harder than I thought it was going to be, this is more more work or more struggle, and looking at what is it that brought you to this place, that brought you in to pursue this in the first place. And it feels like maybe you've lost sight of the why. And so the deep knowing card comes in to say, listen, can you really go back to reconnecting with yourself of why are you here in the first place? Is this going to benefit your family? Is it going to create opportunity for you to have a better job and a higher income that's going to create doorways for a better life? What is it that was bringing you to this in the first place? And that's the thing to lean into. And honestly, I would tell you that if you can reconnect to the why and really feel like, okay, is this going to be worth it in the end? And if it is, then to plaster your house with things that will reinforce the why. Why are you doing this? I know this is late nights of study and it's stress and all the things, but when I'm done, these are the things that I'm going to be able to benefit and have my family to benefit. And these are the things that are going to be blessings to us if I can complete this, or these are things that are going to be blessings to us if I walk away. So it's not a right or wrong question, but it is a question of what is your guts telling you and what is your heart telling you of why you started the journey in the first place? Not what is your guts and your heart telling you about where you are right now, right? Because that can be in a more emotional decision. But what is our heart telling us about why we started this journey in the first place? And what are the blessings or challenges that we're going to have at the completion? Not along the way, right? Because this is a finite thing. You've selected a 2-year journey, so you know how long it's going to take. We see the finish line, whereas some other things where we can't see the finish line, it can be really more difficult to walk that path because we just don't know when it's over. But we've got a real finite finish line here. So what is it that's going to bless your family when you're finished, rather than where are you and what's going to be blessings or challenges along the way? Look beyond that. Look to the finish line and say, okay, what are the blessings or challenges that are going to come in when we finish? So we're not having decisions that are made from this emotional space of the murky middle, right? So that we're looking at, why did I walk this path? Why did I get into this in the first place? And what are the blessings and challenges that are going to come from the other end? And then hopefully that is a stronger, more grounded place for you to make your decision from. I will say that I do see you finishing. I'm not telling you one way or the other. I can't tell you what to do, but I do see you finishing. So I will leave you with that as well. And I wish you all the good luck, because I do feel like there's lots of blessings in it, but I do feel like it's easy to get overwhelmed in the murky middle. So just for your own edification, I do see you finishing. But the decision is yours. Humans have free will. But I wish you so much love and blessing in whatever you decide to do. There is no wrong move, because we know if we follow the time, we loop forward, we loop backwards, right? Just like the Jeremy Bearimy, we loop it around, and we will always be moving forward, even if it feels like we're moving backwards. Even in retrograde, the planets are still going forward, even though they look like they're going backwards. So, all right. So we're going to do Kathy. I see you, Gina. I do see you. We're going to do Kathy. Okay, Kathy. What does Kathy need to know today? Kathy needs to know about trusting the fates. So, Kathy, this is a reminder about leaning in, about trusting your higher guidance, about connecting with your guides, about allowing yourself to be supported by the universe. I have a friend of mine who is going through some really difficult stuff right now, and we have been communicating quite a lot. And one of the things I'm watching is her energy went so far down, so much frustration, and just to the point where she finally was able to just let it go, be like, I give up. And not, thankfully, from a suicidal place, but to let go and let the universe and her guides to come in. And what has happened from this is this incredible perspective shift that has allowed her to see things in a whole different way, because she's allowing them from rock bottom to lift her up and come from a totally different perspective than where she has been before. And it has been incredible to watch this journey, even though my heart, wishes there was more I could do to support her. And so this is what it is talking, and Kathy, hopefully it's not a rock bottom situation for you, but it is about allowing yourself to just let them carry you. And so when you're feeling like, am I going left or right, really let them guide you, because I feel like when we can get out of the left brain, we let the logic go, and we really can allow that higher guidance to take over and be the support system, instead of when we hear those intuitive notions that we second guess them. So it's allowing those things to be the guidance system, and to lean into that a bit more, to help them, let them help you navigate the twisting turns that can become confusing. I hope that makes sense, Kathy. Okay, so we're going to go back to Perry. I see Gina, I see Chris. I'm so sorry we skipped Chris. We will get back. Perry says the 2 years master's degree is feeling like it's taking a toll on mental health. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Perhaps there is some flexibility that can be made in your program to slow it down. So maybe it's 2.5 years instead of 2 years. It isn't about the race to the finish line. It is about going at your pace. And so perhaps that is something that can be addressed with, a guidance counselor or someone a resource person in your program that could help you, or an advisor that could help you to restructure your program in a way that's going to be more manageable. Because especially if you're, working full time and you've got, other life commitments, I can definitely understand where the stress could be extremely, overwhelming. I get this thing in my leg with this, and I feel like that there's maybe something else that's going on there, as far as mental health goes. That maybe there's some kind of argument that's happening external to you. It's not your argument, it's someone who's arguing with you. And I feel like with this, it is somebody that has the best interest, but I feel like I have to defend myself of how I really want this person to support me is this way, but they're supporting me this way in the way that makes sense to them, and it isn't necessarily what I need. And so I feel like there might be a conversation there about how the people around you are able to support you in a way that works for you rather than a way that works for them. So I feel like that was somehow tied to Perry as well. So hopefully maybe that is something that helps you. Okay, I said I'm going to go across to Gina on Instagram. Kathy, I'm so glad that makes sense. So we're going to go across to Gina, and then we'll come back to Chris. I did not forget. We will not leave Chris out. So, Gina, this is the card, and I feel like we've gotten this card for you before. This is No Peace Like Home. This is just a reminder to put into place the things that are, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning about that preparation of putting into place the things that are going to be the empowering and the energizing things that are going to be important for you to create that space for you to be able to thrive, so that you're not having to walk on eggshells in your own space, to be able to, that it is okay for you to set up things to create your space in a way that is going to work for you, whether that's physical space or energetic space or emotional space, that it is all right for you to set some boundaries, and that you're being encouraged to do that, to really lean into putting in some new boundaries for yourself to help ensure your your mental health and your energetic peace. So, oh, that's true. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that it's making sense for you as well. All right, we're going to come back to Chris, and my apologies for skipping you, my love. I never would forget about you, certainly not on purpose. So, we have for my beloved, orphaned. So this is orphaned. This is the reminder that you may feel like you have to do it all yourself, but you're not. Okay, you don't have to do it all yourself. You do have the support around you. And what I love about this card, because it reminds us to, it seems very dark before the dawn, the card, just from the imagery that's on it. But one of the things that is really important is that sometimes we have to disconnect ourselves from everything else. We have to unplug, turn off the phone, turn off the, put the do not disturb on, put the sign on the door that says, do not disturb, and have some time for ourselves to really get to know ourselves. And this is one of the things that we were talking about before, about where are we going as we move forward into this new year. And so this is a reminder that you're not alone, but it's okay for you to choose to be alone, to set some time for you time, to bring yourself in, to gather yourself in, because there is so much of your energy that goes out in so many different directions, that it's okay for you to cut all those cords, bring that energy in, and allow yourself to really reconnect and reground with you, with yourself. And so this isn't about being abandoned by others. This is so much more about reconnecting with self. And so I hope that that makes sense for you. I don't feel like it's an urgency, like, oh my gosh, you have to do this right now. But I do feel like there is this piece of carving out time for you, where you're not reading, you're not writing, you're not studying, you're not coaching, you're not all the myriad of things that I know that you do for so many other people and do amazingly well, but to create a carve out time for Chris to just be and to reconnect with self, to connect with higher self, and also to ground, because what I'd like to point out is she's sitting on a tree stump. Okay, she's connecting with earth. She's connecting with earth. And that's something that I feel like is really important. And also, they make these mats where you can put your feet, where you are earthing, where you can connect. It's like an energetic vibration in the mat. Like if you can't get outside to put your feet on the ground, it brings that energetic frequency to you to put your feet on the mat so that you can be earthing. And I feel like maybe that's something to consider, because it is about reconnecting yourself and reconnecting to yourself, unconnecting, disconnecting from all the things that are around you, because I feel like that you send out so much energy in so many places, in so many directions, that every once in a while it's important to go through and cut all those cords and get all that stuff that isn't yours and give it all back. That we carry things that are not ours, and to let all that stuff go and give it all back. And that, I feel like, is where this orphan card is calling for you, is really about reconnecting with self and disconnecting from everybody else who may be pulling on your energy and want something from you, to refill your cup. Okay? So I hope that resonates for you, my friend. All right, so this week, I know last Thursday we did not have meditation. This Thursday we are planning for meditation. And just as a reminder to that if you are looking for an individual reading, those are normally $125, and we are still having the sale, so you can get them at 10% off for $112.50. If you would like to set up an individual reading, feel free to message me, and we'll get that set up for you. Duma! Oh my gosh. Thank you, Chris. What would I do without you? Thank you. All right, so don't disconnect just yet, because clearly I still need you. Duma, my friend Duma, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Oh my goodness. It's that full moon thing. I think I'm all scattery. So, all right, my friend Duma. This is regeneration for my friend Duma. So this is about tilling the soil and knowing that things have to go away. They die to be reborn, right? Whether that's a relationship or a job or whatever it is, we die to be reborn. And so regeneration is not about, everything is going to crap. But in knowing that when things start to look like they're falling apart, they're really just falling into place to make way for the next thing that's coming, right? And at all of the experiences that we are having that maybe are challenging or not challenging, they're all part of the support system, the root structure, the foundation for what is coming next. And we are all being rebirthed into this new 5D reality, and we're all being reborn as we come into this new year, as we release things in the full moon. So all the challenges that are and the lumps in the dirt for Duma, it's about breaking those things up and knowing that we are getting the soil ready for the regrowth that will come, because now the soil is much more fertilized from all the stuff that's happened, becomes the compost for it to bloom and grow the new things that are going to come, and they will come in stronger and more abundant because you have been through the things before that have made you stronger, more resilient, and wiser. So, and also more compassionate. So these things, this time of regeneration, is beautiful things are coming, and they're going to grow up out of the compost that has come before it. So, all right. I hope that this has been a helpful session for you all. I love spending time with you on Mondays. It is one of the best parts of my week. And I am looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock for meditation. And again, if you are looking to set up a session for the end of the year, just let me know. I'm not seeing that Chris is telling me I forgot anybody else. So, apologies for any of that. And just know that as we're coming into the full moon, if you get a little bit floopy, or you're feeling a little tired, or a little like there's still a whole bunch of retrograde stuff going on out there with Mars and things like that, and just to have compassion for self and have patience with self, and make sure that we're putting self-care as the priority. The preparation that we do now is so important for us to make it through the holidays without having to come apart, or having energy sapped out of us. So start now to think about what your plans will be, and so that you have that preparation available, so that you're not flying around at the last minute going, I need all this stuff. Think about it now, so preparation is made easier with extra time. So, I'm so glad that it resonated for you, my dear friend, and I'm sending you all of you so much love. Always remember how very much you are loved. And we've got Hanukkah coming up, we've got Christmas, we've got New Year's, we've got Kwanzaa, we've got all these wonderful things. So we want to be prepared so that we can stay in the joy of the experiences, right? And so in the moment, I send you all so much love. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And always remember how very much you are loved. We'll see you on Thursday. We'll see you next week.